Good morning there. It is Friday, and it is Friday, August 25th, as we work our way through our daily lectionary readings, looking ahead to what's going to be taking place at church on Sunday. Our psalm reading is from 138 again. Our Old Testament reading, we stay in the book of Ezekiel. We jump up a little bit, Ezekiel 31, 15 through 18. And then our New Testament reading, instead of 1 Corinthians, we're going to jump to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18. Listen in. Psalm 138. Thank you. Everything in me says thank you. Angels listen as I sing my thanks. I kneel and worship facing your holy temple. And say it again. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your faithfulness. Most holy is your name. Most holy is your word. The moment I call out, you stepped in. You made my life large with strength. When they hear what you have to say, God, all earth's kings will say, thank you. They'll sing of what you've done, how great the glory of God. And here's why. God, high above, sees far below. No matter the distance, he knows everything about us. When I walk into the thick of trouble, keep me alive in the angry turmoil. With one hand, strike my foes. With your other hand, save me. Finish what you've started in me, God. Your love is eternal. Do not quit on me now. Our Old Testament reading comes from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 31, verses 15 through 18. The message of God, the Master. On the day of the funeral of the big tree, I threw the great deep into mourning. I stopped the flow of its rivers, held back the great seas, and wrapped the Lebanon mountains in black. All the trees of the forest fainted and fell. I made the whole world quake when it crashed, and threw it into the underworld to take its place with all else that gets buried. All the trees of Eden and the finest and best trees of Lebanon, well watered, were relieved. They had descended to the underworld with it, along with everyone who had lived in its shade and all who had been killed. Which of these trees of Eden came anywhere close to you in splendor and size? But you're slated to be cut down to take your place in the underworld with the trees of Eden, to be a dead log stacked with all other dead logs, among the other uncircumcised who are dead and buried. This means Pharaoh, the pompous old goat. Decree of God, the Master. Our New Testament reading comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18. We're not, understand, putting ourselves in a league with those who boast that they are our superiors. We wouldn't dare do that. But in all of this comparing and grading and competing, they quite miss the point. We aren't making outrageous claims here. We're sticking to the limits of what God has set for us. But there can be no question that those limits reach to and include you. We're not moving into someone else's territory. We were already there with you, weren't we? We were the first ones to get there with the message of Christ, right? So how can there be any question of overstepping our bounds by writing or visiting you? We're not barging in on the rightful work of others, interfering with their ministries, demanding a place in the sun with them. What we're hoping for is that as your lives grow in faith, you'll play a part with our expanding work. And we'll all still be within the limits that God sets as we proclaim the message in the countries beyond Corinth. But we have no intention of moving in on what others have done and taking credit for it. If you want to claim credit, claim it for God. What you say about yourself means nothing in God's work. If what God says about you that makes the difference. That ends our readings for the day. I thought there was going to be one more. I miscounted. Peace. Have a wonderful weekend.